Very happy to be here. Florida's wonderful. New York's wonderful too, but I'd rather be in Florida during the winter. Um, so of course, today we're talking about Asteya, which I will go over. But kind of starting from the beginning, as I've mentioned so many times before, yoga was developed some 5,000 years ago by ancient wise men who were called rishis. And these rishis, these ancient seers, they weren't interested in the kinds of things that we are interested in. They weren't interested in getting tight abs or losing weight. They weren't even thinking about releasing stress. But rather, what they were trying to do was to tame the mind so that they could meditate. They wanted to reach enlightenment. And so in that frame of reference, Patanjali, who we think of as the father of yoga, at that time, he laid out a path of yoga. And so he didn't begin with asana or all the movement practices that we do today, but rather he began with ethical principles that underlie the whole yoga practice. And he called these the yamas and the niyamas. But this wasn't because he was like very moralistic human being. He just wanted to be practical. He merely said that if we choose to act in certain ways, we're going to suffer in life. So to be happy and to be practical, we should restrain ourselves from these things. So in past sessions, we already covered the first two yamas. We covered ahimsa, which is translated as nonviolence, and we covered satya, which is truthfulness. And the third one that we're covering today is called asteya. And on its face, asteya is really simple. It means non-stealing, not taking things that aren't yours. It sounds pretty simple, but asteya's deeper meaning goes really way beyond this. It doesn't mean just not taking material objects, but it also means not stealing someone's time, not stealing their thoughts, not sapping their energy, not stealing their ideas. It just implies that we should look within ourselves to find fulfillment or happiness, rather than looking outside ourselves to other people. So it kind of means abandoning the very intent to possess or to steal anything. Again, whether that something is material, whether it's somebody else's talent, whether it's stealing a relationship or an achievement or their success or their time. So it's very interesting because when we look at our children or our grandchildren, in most cases, we don't ever become envious of the things that they have or what they do. We just always feel joyful. We feel happy for them. And so if we could practice this with everyone and start rejoicing in not only what we have, but what others have, instead of feeling envious or jealous or even just desirous, we would feel more content. So the ancient yogis, they knew this, and they taught that everything that you need lies right within you. Within you is the source of all intelligence. It's the source of all your power, your love, all your happiness, all that peace lies within you. And that sense of self-reliance, that sense of resourcefulness within yourself, that's the practice of asteya. And so today, we can practice asteya in a yoga class by just honoring our bodies for what they can do, rather than wishing we had that perfect form. And with that thought in mind, of course, we're going to practice coming inside, which we do at every session. And we'll start with our breath practice. Okay, so with our breath practice, we're going to find a comfortable seat, kind of just wiggling around a little bit to find that comfortable seat. And then just place your feet hip distance apart. In other words, right on the inner hips, hip distance apart and parallel. You want your feet to be nice and even. You can look down and make sure that they are. And then put even weight on that mound that's right behind the big toe, and the mound that's right behind that little toe, and then press a little bit into the center of the heel. And then slightly lift up. So you're lifting the pelvic floor up, you feel your belly go up, your shoulders kind of go down, You feel your spine long all the way from the crown to base. You'll let your head just kind of float over the shoulders so that the chin and the hairline are in line with each other rather than tilting up or tilting down. Okay? And you can wiggle a little bit too, of course, again. And then we'll just close the eyes. Very gently. Just the top lids just kind of fall over the bottom lids. And then just start to breathe in and out through the nose. Just becoming aware of your breath. And without judging it in any way, just notice how the breath moves in your body. Just notice where it begins, notice where it ends. Notice if it's fast or if it's slow. Notice if it's smooth and even, or whether you feel like it's short and choppy. And then noticing when you inhale, does your torso expand or does it seem to contract? So what happens also when you exhale? And sometimes your mind might wander while you're doing this breath. And if your mind has wandered, just gently, just bring it back to the breath and just simply observe that movement on the breath. And on the next inhale, just feel the entire circumference of your torso just expand as your breath completely fills your lungs. Allow everything to expand. Allow your belly to expand, your side ribs to expand, your chest to expand, all the way up through the collarbones. And as you exhale, just feel the breath leaving your lungs as you release everything. Release the collarbones, release the chest, release the belly, even releasing the pelvic floor back to that starting position. And then gradually extending the inhalation and exhalation, just going slowly, breath by breath, one breath at a time. Aiming to equalize the inhalation and the exhalation. And just seeing if you can make each breath just slightly deeper than the one before. If you're having trouble making the breaths equal, just try counting your inhale for whatever count, whether it's a count of 3 or 4 or 5, and then whatever that count is, just try exhaling that same count. Just continuing on your own. Just beginning to notice how the breath begins to restore everything to balance. Seems to bring everything to equilibrium. Maybe you can even let go of the counting now and just feel the breath. Just seeing how it brings you into the present moment. Just letting go of the stories that you tell yourself over and over again. These little whispers in the mind that never seem to go away. Just following the breath. Just a few more. Nice and soft, nice and even. Inhales and the exhales equal one another. Whenever your next exhale comes, just drawing the palms together at the heart center. And dropping the chin. Affirmation. I live in gratitude for all that I have. respect the possessions, the time, and the talents of others. And again, I live in gratitude for all that I have. I respect the possessions, time, and talents of others. And slowly lift the chin, crack the eyes open just to take in the air in front of you, and just placing your hands down onto your lap. So in our asana practice today, we're going to start with our feet. So just like in the structure of a building, you need a solid foundation for our bodies for overall strength. And when we feel strong, we feel self-reliant, and practicing Asteya becomes easier. So I'm going to move back so that you can see more of my body so that we can practice together. Just put it down just a little bit more. And so we're going to start with a heel toe motion. So your hands can be right on your lap. And again, looking down to make sure that the feet are parallel. And you want your knees and your ankles to be in line with each other. So your ankles are directly below the knees. You can come more to the front of your chair. It'll make it easier to do the practice. And so on an inhale, keep the heels down and just lifting the toes and the ball of the foot up. Inhaling here, I'll do it with my hands as well, and exhale, pressing into the ball of the feet and lifting the heels. And again, inhale, lifting the toes, and exhale, lifting the heels all the way up. We're pumping the circulation into the leg. Inhale and lift the toes, and exhale. Press down to the balls of the feet and lift the heels. One more time, slow. Inhale, lifting the balls of the feet and the toes, and exhale, lifting the heels. And now just doing it a little bit faster, not so much that you're doing it on the breath, continuing to breathe, but just doing it a little bit faster so that you can really get the circulation moving into the legs. Just pumping up and down. You're going to feel this in your calves. You may even feel it moving up towards the thighs. Just doing a few more. And then stopping there, making sure that you have a nice and comfortable seat once again, and lift the right knee up. And you can clasp the hands right in front of the shins, or if that's not comfortable, if it's easier for you to hold your thigh, do it that way. And it doesn't matter how high you lift it, wherever you are, as you know, is always perfect. So we place our hands wherever it's comfortable and just begin to circle the ankles in one direction. And so we want the joints to be supple. And so the synovial fluid begins to flow when we begin to make these movements. And then we'll circle the ankle in the other direction, which may feel a little bit funny, doing it as best you can in the other direction. And now point and flex, and point and flex, and point and flex, point and flex, and point and flex. Now we'll take a hold of, you may or may not, be able to do this, but if you can, just taking a hold of the heel of your hand, and you can bend down to reach it or whatever works for you, just to kind of crank the ankle, in all directions, that you really feel movement in that ankle joint. back and forth, side to side. Then we're going to take the toes, and you may have to bend all the way down to do this, or it may be a little bit too difficult if you have trouble bending. But if you can, take the toes and just separate each toe. So pull the toe. If you can't do this, if your feet are flat on the floor, then just feel as if you were energetically widening the toes, taking the second toe and just moving it around, and really getting it away from the other toes so that you create space. And doing the same thing with the third toe, just moving it around, moving it side to side, forward and back. Then take the fourth toe, doing the same thing, just as much movement as you can get. And the fifth toe. So we want to keep the toes separated, able to separate if you can. Sometimes they say, you know, if you're watching TV, you can put pencils or ballpoints right in between the toes, just to get a little separation there. Then we'll put that foot down. We'll raise the left knee up. We'll do the same thing on this side. So circle the ankle in one direction. Notice if there are any differences. And please breathe while you're doing this. Don't forget the breath. And then we'll circle the ankle in the other direction. And point and flex and point and flex. And notice how you feel that right up the side of the leg. Point and flex and point and flex, point and flex. Again, taking the ankle, the bottom of the foot rather, if that's available to you, and just cranking the ankle from side to side. Just moving it in any direction that feels good. Then once again, we'll take the toes and just separate them. Like pull that big toe away from the other toes. Just pull it away from the other toes. And you take the second toe and again, pull it in one direction, pull it in the other direction. Do the same thing with the third toe, just moving it around. Fourth toe. And the pinky toe. Just giving ourselves a little toe massage here. And then slowly putting that leg down. Once again, lifting the right knee up. And again, you can hold it here or any way that works for you. You can put one hand down on your lap, or you can do it with both hands and just circling that hip around. So now we're putting this, getting the synovial fluid to begin to flow in that right hip. Just moving it around in one direction, any amount, any amount. And then moving it around in the other direction. And just so long as you're moving, it's going to have a tremendous benefit. Then we'll place the ankle on the knee, your ankle right over the knee. But again, this may be too much. You can always just cross your legs here. In other words, this is the position that can work just as well. But if you can, put your ankle right above the knee and flex the foot. So you want to keep that foot flexed in order to protect the knee. And lift really, really tall, oh, all the way up. And then hinging right from the hips, beginning to come forward. So try and keep the spine straight. So you may only move like a little millimeter. I mean, it may be the tiniest amount that you can move, keeping the spine straight. You can place your hands any way that's comfortable for you. When you get to the place where you have moved as much as you think you can with your spine straight, and just close the eyes, come back to that even breath that we started with. And you'll also feel this right in the right hip. You'll feel it in your butt, in your hip, maybe even the upper thigh. You'll feel it most where you're tightest in your body. A few more breaths here. Let the exhale maybe taking a teeny bit deeper. So sometimes in the inhale, we back off a little bit. And then the exhale, we move even a little bit deeper. Hold Same here. Notice the shoulders are away from the ears. We're not using the shoulders to further position. It doesn't work. So just keeping them nice and even. And slowly, slowly, slowly coming up. Taking your left hand again on the left heel. You want to be careful coming out of this. You want to keep the foot flexed and the ankle in line with the knee so that you don't compromise the knee and placing that foot down. Other side. Hug the left knee into the chest, and either with one hand or two hands or any way that works for you, just circling the hip around in one direction. Again, any amount of the circle works for you. And then slowly going in the other direction, no rush here. Just slowly getting some space in the hip joint. And then once again, putting that ankle right on the knee. Notice that my foot is flexed. And again, I'm here. Somebody else may have the knee down even further. Maybe here, 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 or even just crossing the legs. And then lift up through the lower belly so that you feel yourself really long. And hinging right at the hips, right from this hip, not from the waist, but from the hips, keeping the spine straight, beginning to move forward, whatever amount works for you. And then close the eyes here. And then see if you could just move on the breath. So the inhale, may back off just a little bit, that long inhale, and exhale, just moving forward just a little bit. Each inhale makes you just a little bit longer. And each exhale, you move into the space you created. Notice where the sensation is. The sensation is always going to be in the tightest part. So we move to the place where we feel sensation. You never feel pain, but you may feel a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. Have a breath here. It works. And then slowly coming all the way up. Again, carefully, the hand is on the heel and on the knee. Keeping the ankle and the knee in line, keeping the foot flexed, just placing that foot down. And then widen the feet just a little bit. Well, actually not pretty wide. Keeping as wide as is comfortable for you. And bring the palms out to the side. And inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, take your left hand to the right knee, or the right shin, or the right calf, whatever works, or even up here. Inhale, coming all the way up again. And exhale, taking that hand again, wherever it works for you. Inhaling both arms all the way up. And exhale, taking a twist to the right. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, a twist to the left. One more time, each side. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, a twist to the right. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, a twist to the left. And back to center. Bringing the feet together again. You're on kind of the front of the chair. We're just going to do the movement, a flowing movement with the body. Just kind of moving around. Again, there's no right. Just feeling yourself. Just letting yourself fall. Just letting yourself do what your body wants to do. Let the body kind of lead you just in a sensual kind of a way. Just moving around in one direction. And then you can stop there. And again, move in the other direction. which again always feels strange in the opposite direction from which we're used to. And just nice and slow, easily let the breath flow along with this movement. Coming back to center. Again, the feet are directly underneath the knees, the ankles under the knees, bringing both arms out, palms facing up, inhaling the arms all the way up, and exhale the right arm down and just kind of hold onto the chair here. Now you want to keep your sit bones really rooted down, especially this one, especially the left one. That's going to want to come up because we're inhaling here and taking a lean over to the right. And you want to give yourself a couple of breaths to get the full extent of this deep stretch on the left side. The left side, we get long, we separate through the ribs. And if it's okay for your neck, you can even peer underneath the armpits. Only if that's okay for your neck. And eyes can be open or closed, just feeling a sense of relaxation with the breath. Slowly coming up and taking your left hand and placing it on the outside of your right thigh, taking your right hand, placing it behind and coming into a deep twist here. So inhale, really feel the breath going all the way from the base to the crown, and exhale, turning around the axis of the spine, right from above the navel. And let each inhale again give you a little space. You can back off a little bit, and each exhale taking you deeper into the pose. Relax the shoulders, relax the eyes, the cheeks. And slowly returning back and taking a breath. Just in between sides, just taking a breath. And bringing the arms out and inhaling them all the way up, taking a pause at that very tippy top. And this time bringing the left arm down and kind of holding on to the chair and pressing down into that sit bone, because as I said before, it's going to want to come up. If you can, the bicep is by the ear, if you're able to do that, but otherwise, wherever you are. And inhale, we're getting very long. On the inhale, as long as you can, belly goes in and up, and exhale, taking a lean over to the left. Each exhale takes you a little bit deeper. Each exhale a little bit. And again, you can stay here, or you can peer underneath the armpit. That's okay for your neck. Let the left shoulder go. Just whatever form your body wants to take is practicing a stay. Slowly coming back to neutral. Inhaling the arm all the way up. And this time we're going to take a twist to the other side. So your right hand goes on the outside of the left thigh, the left hand behind. Inhaling all the way up and exhale. Use that space to twist. So we're squeezing the organs together. Squeezing them together. At that time, we're squeezing out any toxins from the body. Very good for the digestive system, circulatory system. One more breath here. And then slowly coming back. Bring your hands onto your knees. Once again, making sure that your ankles are directly under the knees. We'll go into our up cat and down cat, our seated pose, where we inhale and arch the back. The chin goes up. The sternum goes between the shoulders as we lift up, shoulders back, back, back. And exhale, belly goes to the back of the spine, and we round the back and drop the chin to the chest. This we do completely on the breath. The breath informs the movement. Inhale and arching, let the full inhale take you into the pose. Let the full exhale, belly to the back of the spine, and you'll see that you go into the back of the sit bones. Again, inhale. The chest and the sternum goes forward, the chin lifts, gazing up. And exhale, belly to the back of the spine, going to the back of the sit bones, dropping the chin to the chest. One more time. Inhale, arching, arching, arching. Exhale, rounding as much as you can, just rounding and lengthening the spine. And back to center. Take a pause. You can close the eyes. Just noticing how you feel. And then bringing the arms out to the side, spinning the palms back. So we're going to spin the palms back, bring them around behind us. So you may have to move more forward in the chair and clasp the elbows. Now you may not be able to clasp the elbows, maybe make fists and put the fists together. Wherever you are, just seeing as much as you can to putting the arms behind you. And as you're here, again, you want to lift up that pelvic floor again. Lift the belly in and up. Feel the heart center and the sternum lifting. And then once again, hinging from the hips, beginning to move forward. Let the exhale, also very good for the shoulders, posture. All of us are on our computers, on our iPhones. We're always looking down, down, down. So you want to open up through the heart. Another breath. And then slowly using the core muscles, slowly coming all the way back. Bringing the hands down, turning the palms out. Once again, inhaling, coming all the way up. And exhale, bring your arms halfway down. Turning the palms back. And we're spinning them back. And we're going to cross the elbows on the other side. Or if you're just doing the fist bump, just do the same thing. Otherwise, crossing the elbows on the other side. You feel again, it always feels a little strange when you change sides. You want to get the length in the spine. You want to have the shoulders away from the ears, the chin in line with the hairline here. And after your full inhale, we hinge from the hips and just gently move forward, keeping the spine straight, keeping it strong, keeping the heart open, chest open. The crown of the head is in line with the base. And even let it out the mouth. And slowly coming all the way up. Ahankara Mudra, taking the right hand, thumb and index finger to touch and just placing it right at the center of the chest. Closing the eyes, feel a point of light right here, right in the center of the chest. And imagine that point of light just moving out horizontally. And moving back into that point of light. 3 breaths like that. Inhale, point of light expands out to the side ribs. And exhale, it comes back to the center. Inhale, expand. Exhale, back. Place the hand down, rolling the shoulders up and back and down. Again, rolling them up and back and down. Again. Go in the other direction. Back and up, forward and down. Back and up, forward and down. Back, up, forward. Inhale here and exhale, just turning the head to the right. Back to center, turning the head to the right. Center, turning the head to the right. And back to center and turning the head to the right. And back to center. And just dropping the ear down to the shoulder, just feel a nice gentle stretch. Let the head be heavy. And you can even take that right arm, turn the palm up, not pulling, but just the weight of the hand may be helping. Don't be aggressive here. The neck is kind of very delicate. So just maybe the weight of the hand. Keeping the shoulder, the left shoulder down. Releasing the hand, coming back to center. Full inhale and exhale, dropping the ear to the. You can hold it here, or you can take your left hand and take the palm and just let the weight of the hand just relax the head down. Again, you should just feel a gentle stretch, nothing aggressive. There's so much tension in our neck and shoulders from hunching over our computers and phones. It's just releasing some of that tension. Releasing the hands and coming back to center. We'll do our sun salutations, bringing the arms out to the side if you haven't done it before. Just follow along as best you can, and maybe you'll come in round two. We do it 3 times. Inhale, bringing the arms all the way up, palms to press at the very tippy top. And as you exhale, that same hinge from the hips, circling the arms around and down and letting the head go. Place the hands on the shins, come halfway up. And exhale again from the hips, fold to your fullest. The palms come out, press down through the feet to reverse the swan dive, coming all the way up. Take a pause at the top and draw the hands down the midline of the body, closing the eyes. Excuse me. Full breath in, full breath out. And again, inhaling the arms down around and all the way up. Taking a pause at the top. Exhale, hinging, circling all the way around and down as if you're taking a swan dive. Let the head go. Hands on shins halfway up, we call this Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold to your fullest, we call this Uttanasana. Bring the hands out, the palms out, press down through the feet, use your core to come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. And then draw the hands down the midline of the body, Adasana. Full breath in. Full breath. Last one. Inhaling the arms down around and all the way up, stretching, 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 but not taking the shoulders. Press the palms together, or they can be separated, of course. And exhale, hinging with the hips, coming into Uttanasana, letting the head go. Inhaling to a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold back into Uttanasana. palms out to the side facing, coming all the way up. Use your core, use the bottom of those feet to come all the way up. Take pause at the top and draw the hands down in the right arm. Full breath in, full breath. We'll come into a forward fold before we begin our meditation. So once again, placing your hands any place that works for you. You can even place them on the hips, on the chair, on your thighs. You want to have the head between your feet coming all the way down. So you again, resting towards the front of the chair and coming forward. Inhale first, and then slowly, slowly, slowly letting the head go between the knees, and your hands can come down to the floor, or they can come to the shins or the ankles or even the knees. And you want to really let the head go. You want gravity to take over here. You want gravity to let the heaviness of the head move towards the floor. Back of the neck is long. So separating the back teeth, letting the tongue float. Soften through the eyes. Create space between the brow. Just breathing. Very, very, very slowly as you can. Tuck the chin and begin to roll up. You can bring your hands and let them roll up towards the knees. You want to roll up, counting almost each vertebra. You want to roll up one vertebra at a time. Your shoulders and your chin and your head come up last. So we're all prepared for our meditation, which of course is the cornerstone of our yoga practice. And so today we're going to do a very basic meditation that brings us even more away from the outside world, from the outside senses. And it's called Ishtadiksha meditation. And it's the cornerstone of the Ishta practice, founded by Alan Finger and his father. It works very efficiently to get you into a dreamlike state. And that's the state that's most beneficial for meditation. So it has several parts to it, and I'll go over them now before we begin. We're going to start with a minute or so of Apajapa, where you just watch your breath. And you just watch it really the way we did in the beginning of the practice. And this has the immediate effect of creating a relaxation response. And from there, we're going to balance the right and left sides of the brain. So just to explain this scientifically, for 90 minutes, one of our nostrils is dominant. And then for 4 minutes, the breath goes equally into both nostrils. And then the next 90 minutes, the breath goes into the other nostril. It shifts. And so during those 4 minutes, we're in that dreamlike state, which we want to duplicate in order to meditate. And I'm going to give you 2 ways to balance the left-right. We're all going to start with the swaying, which we've done before, and I'll lead you through. But then some of us will go on to Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. And in Nadi Shodhana Pranayama is more powerful. But if it's uncomfortable in any way, you'll just continue with the swaying. So what you'll be doing is you're resting your left palm on your thigh with I'm not mirroring you here, with the thumb and index finger to touch. And then we'll be taking the second finger and the third finger and putting it onto the forehead. You'll be closing your eyes, but don't do that now because I'm just showing you. Okay, I'm just demoing. And you'll take your thumb and just gently place it on the one side of the nostril and your fourth finger on the other side. And we'll be blocking. So we'll block, let's say, the left nostril, breathe in through the right. We'll hold and block both and exhale through the left. So you'll lift that fourth finger and let the breath go out the left. Then you'll be inhaling through the left. We'll hold, block both. In other words, press the thumb and fourth finger and exhale through the right. Keep going with that. We'll be inhaling through the right, holding, blocking both, exhaling through the left. Okay, that's where we'll be going. If it's uncomfortable, just stick with the swaying. And we'll do that probably about 5 or 6 rounds, because that draws your senses in and you become really calm. And then after we do that, we're going to practice the Hamsa Kriya, where you just imagine a ball of light moving up the spine, and that ball of light moving down the spine. And you don't have to bring it all the way down. You may only bring it down to your belly or your heart, and then moving that ball of light all the way up and all the way down. And we'll be saying, using the mantra, hum as you go up and sa as you go down. And then we'll hold it here. When the ball of light gets here, take a drop of saliva, place it on the third eye, and we'll sit for 3 minutes. Okay? Any questions before we begin with that? Okay. So with no questions, no further ado, here we go. So find your seat, close your eyes, and just begin the Apajapa, just breathing in for whatever your count is, whether it's 3 or 4, and just doing that repetitive breath. Just feeling the breath. Inhale and feeling the exhale. Inhaling and exhale. Won't call it, because it's your own breath. Just repeating the breath in, out, in, and out. That's a few more. Now, after your next exhale, we'll begin the swaying method. So just tilt a little forward and a little back, just to find a little balance in your chair. Back to center. And now move slowly and gently to the right. And to close your eyes after you get the visual that you need. And coming back to center. And sway gently to the left. Back to center. Swaying to the right. Keeping the sit bones where they are. Back to center. And swaying to the left. Just stay focused on the shift from one side to the other and back again, doing this on your own, following to your own rhythm. Just notice it in your legs, in your seat, in your abdomen, in your chest. Noticing in your shoulders. Notice in your head. And so you're activating one side and the other, balancing Ida and Pingali. Balancing those energy lines. And then slowly, just like a pendulum, feel yourself slowing down. You're not going as much to the right as you did before. You're not going as much to the left. You're just beginning to slow it down like a pendulum would slow down until you find yourself right in the center. The next part, Nadi Shodhana, if it's comfortable for you. Again, I'm not mirroring you, placing your second and third finger right onto the forehead. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Thumb on the right nostril, fourth finger on the left nostril. Hold it loosely to begin. Turn the palm of the left hand up, thumb and index finger to touch. And just take a couple of slow breaths in both nostrils. You just holding the thumb and fourth finger loosely, just the 2 breaths. And then press into the left nostril, breathe in through the right. Inhale through the right. Hold, block both nostrils. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold, block both. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Hold, block both. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold, block both. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Hold, block both. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold, block both. Exhale through the right. Continue for 1 round on your own. And now we'll do our Hamsa Kriya, the visualization. And just visualizing a line from the base of the spine at the pelvic floor to midbrain. And just envision a ball of energy or light at the base of the spine. And when you naturally breathe in, draw the light upward to midbrain. From mid-brain, you can draw it all the way down, or you can just draw it down to the belly. Just see how it goes. And then inhale that ball of light up to midbrain. And exhale that ball of light down. Now adding the mantra hum on the inhale. And sa on the exhale. The ball of light moving up now, either from the belly or from the heart, moving up to midbrain. And exhale, moving down. The next time you move that ball of light up, keep it there. Just take a drop of saliva on your thumb and place that drop of saliva right in the area of the third eye. Place the hand down and feel that cool spot move into midbrain. You can use the mantra Om, or if your mind is restless, You can use the mantra Mung, Mung, and you will sit for 3 minutes. Now slowly bring the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and then slide the tongue right down behind the teeth. Bring the palms together and gently, just so that you can feel that tingly feeling. Just separate the hands just a little bit, feeling the heat between the hands. Separating a little bit more and sensing the radiance behind the heat. And separating even more and feeling that magnetism, that puffy feeling where you feel you can shape the air between the hands. And then slowly bringing the palms over the eyes and lifting the chin and letting all of that heat and radiance and magnetism pour into and behind the eyes, into the trillions of cells in the brain. Just lighting up those trillions of cells and the synapses, making new connections. And slowly drawing the hands down the face and around the back of the neck, palm over palm. We want to now bring the energy down to this plane. And bring the hands together at the throat, palm over palm. Bring it down to the thymus. So we boost our immune system with the mantra, Ram, 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 Ramaya Namaha. Ram, 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 Ramaya Namaha. Slowly bring it down to the heart center, to the solar plexus, to the belly. Place the thumbs right into that hip crease between the thigh and the hip. And then just slowly rubbing the thighs back and forth and back and forth. And just stamping the feet. So that you get the energy down. Bringing the hands together at the heart center. Bowing the head all the way down to seal in the sacred practice. Slowly raising the head. And bowing the head to the heart, to the only true teacher, to the teacher that lies within each, every one of us. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat. Namaste.